But also, if you've got a long-lost loved one that you can't find, listen even more carefully. Because in terms of job satisfaction, Menexus couldn't complain. Imagine the first email you opened that morning and it read something along the lines of, "You've made my life complete. I cannot thank you enough." Well, it sounds a lot better than the usual meeting at midday, bring your own lunch. Well, Ryan Shaw is the co-owner of FinderMonkey, a company based in Alton which specialises in finding lost loved ones in the hope of reuniting them. And he's in the studio now. Morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. Now, first of all, tell me how you got into this business. Was it a bit of chance?
There was a little bit of chance involved, but basically I'd done similar kind of work for other companies, mainly on financial companies. So I've been doing it more looking for debtors and people who owed companies money, rather than the friends and family side of it. And that's something that I kind of wanted, that job satisfaction. I wanted to do the good work as well as the negative kind
rather
of
than chasing for a bit of dosh.
Yeah, that's right. So when we came to start FinderMonkey, which were back in 2008, we really wanted to make sure that we did both sides of tracing people, the family and friends side, and also the debtors and ex-tenants and people who owed people money. So from the very beginning we did both, and obviously the job satisfaction comes from the reuniting friends and family. So
it's a bit of like, so on the one hand you're a bit of a heavy sorting people out for a bit of money, and on the other hand you're saying, right, come on, mums and sons and what have you, let's get you back in touch with each other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the debtor side of it, we just locate where they are for the collection company. We don't actually collect any money or go to anyone's house or anything like that. We just purely provide the information back to that company, and with the friends and family we're a little bit more involved sometimes, maybe offering support on an ongoing basis once we've actually found them. Maybe, you know, just making sure that both sides are comfortable with what's happening, for when they are put back together. So
Ryan, what's sort of the most interesting search that you've done then?
We've had one just recently, which I didn't do myself. It was Dave, our trace manager, did this one. But we were working for a gentleman. I'll call him Frank just to protect his identity. Yeah. But Frank came to us. He was born in Jamaica, but brought to the UK when he was a baby. When he was about 3, his mother died, and his father couldn't look after him, so he placed into foster care. He was with this same foster family until he was approximately 10 years old, and then his father got custody of him and took him back to Jamaica.
Okay.
Unfortunately, things didn't go too smoothly while he was out there. His stepmother, he described her as evil, and he suffered psychological and physical abuse right up to being an adult.
Yeah.
When he became an adult, he went to America and he studied and he became a doctor, and he put the development in himself down to the values that he were brought up with in England.
Before he went back to Jamaica.
Before he went back. So he'd been looking for his foster family, his foster parents, which he classed as his real mum and dad, even though biologically they weren't.
Yeah, yeah.
So he came to us to try and locate them. We managed to find them through a variety of different tactics and systems that we've got.
Are they secret?
A lot of it's... We do have a lot of ones that we don't like to talk about. Everything's legal. We're members of Credit Services Association, so we're legal and above board with everything. But some of them we try and protect because obviously we don't want people to replicate what we can do. But a lot of it's birth, deaths and marriage records, electoral roll. They're the basic ones, and then we've got a lot more powerful ones as well. But we found what we thought was his mother, and we felt like it looked like his father had unfortunately passed away about 10 years ago, but his foster mother was still alive. And we made contact with her via telephone and explained the situation. And we have to respect people, so if she'd have turned around and said, I'm not interested, we have to kind of break that news back to the person, or inform. Usually we do that because if we say, oh no, we can't find them, then they're going to go to other
somewhere
companies
else to do it.
So we've got to kind of
be honest
and end it there. And
what was her response then?
She was as happy as he was.
Did she believe it at first?
She was. I mean, she's an older lady now. You know, she's in her late 70s now. I mean, we're going back. It's 46 years since they'd spoke to each other. 46 years, and and David managed to find this woman. So she was taken aback, she was shocked, but ultimately she was really happy. So we went back to Frank in America, the doctor, and this were all done via email, and explained what we'd done. And he sent an email back to us that just, it broke your heart, because he explained what had happened to him when he went back to Jamaica, and how much he'd been longing to find his what he classed as his mum and dad.
The foster parents had for 10 years. We're speaking to Ryan Shaw, who's co-director of FinderMonkey in Alton in Leeds, and it reunites people. The nice part of it is it reunites people with loved ones who've been lost, and Frank is the name that you've given to this just to protect his identity, who went to Jamaica having 10 years with a foster family and came back and then wanted to search for his foster parents, which is, and you got that far and you managed through the devices you've suggested, and some of them you're keeping to yourself because it's what makes you unique at FinderMonkey. So good response, and then obviously the story unfurled about the tragic tale you had back in Jamaica. So what about the actual, when they came together then?
Well, we've been trying to get hold of him again to find out how that went, because as soon as they were reunited over the telephone, he immediately made plans to fly over to the UK to see her. So we're waiting for some feedback from him about how that went, but he was so excited, and we knew that she were really happy as well, so it were only going to be a positive reunion, and his wife and his son were coming over with him as well.
So you'll find out a bit more.
Hopefully.
What a brilliant story to have, but also tragedy along the way, to hear that his life took a real turn for the worse, having been separated from his foster parents too. And as you say, if someone simply doesn't want to be found, then once they say no, you tell the finder, say, look, don't want to know, and I mean, and then from that point, is there any support for them from that point? Because that's going to be devastating if they're searching for their parents.
We try and offer support and make sure that they understand maybe why that's happened, and in a lot of cases people tend to understand. I mean, it does depend on the circumstances, and we do get a few where they take the news badly, but in most cases we can act as a middle ground to at least get some kind of contact between the two parties, even if it's not directly. So for example, we've accepted letters to us from one side that then we've forwarded to the other side without actually revealing anybody's details to anybody, but ultimately we do have to respect people's privacy, and we make sure that we do that.
Ryan, why do people need it with Facebook, Friends Reunited, just text, mobile phone, all sorts? Why do people need it? Genes Reunited, all that sort of thing.
There's a lot of systems out there, but ultimately if you can go so far down the line, so you can look for them on Facebook, but Facebook's about connecting with them, but it's not about getting an address, and so if you don't want to necessarily go all guns ahead and you contact them straight away directly, this is more so on the debtor side, it's not really suitable for that. But if they're not on Facebook and they're not on Twitter, and they're two systems that we're well aware of. We've got Facebook and Twitter account ourselves, but the Try Genes Reunited and systems like that, but they don't have, they get given the information but not necessarily have the skills, and all we've got more systems than that, a lot more systems, and we also have the genealogy techniques, and we do it day in, day out, so we build up processes and ways of working that just maximise our chance of success, which are a bit above and beyond like a stay-at-home Sherlock Holmes kind of person.
It's a great business, really, if you think about it, Ryan, isn't it? You reunite people in a nice way, and then the other part of it, you go around and knock on the door if they haven't paid you. Fantastic. I like that. So now tell me about the Don Reeby statue appeal. I've been involved a bit in this myself, raising money so that there's a statue to the greatest manager that Leeds United have ever had, hopefully by May next year. So how has your business got involved in there?
Well, we're most of us are Leeds fans in the office. Me and Dave, our trace manager, are big Leeds fans, and we've been to Europe to see him, and he's still a season ticket holder, although I must admit I'm not at the moment. But we're checking Leeds United's website over at summer, looking for transfer activity. Been disappointed most of the time, but we did see this, we saw this story about how they were looking to find ex-players who played under Don Revie, but obviously not Peter Lorimer, Eddie Gray, Paul Reaney, they're all still connected to the club, but the ones who played maybe 2 or 3 games, maybe being a sub on a Tuesday night back in 1969 and then disappeared really. So there was this like appeal put out, can anyone help us find these players? So me and Dave just said straight away we think we'd be able to help. So we just got straight on the phone to Jim Cadman, who's like the organiser, and offered our services and said that we'd do our best to do it for free, which we've done it completely for free for him, and just tried to give him some support really to find these old players.
And have you found any yet?
Yeah, we found quite a few.
Who have you got so far that people might remember?
Peter McConnell's probably which were quite easy because he's still. I think he lives about half a mile from our office, so it wasn't the most difficult one. But there were others as well. I don't have the list in front of me, but what we had to do first was like build a profile on each player, because unfortunately some of them have passed away, so we were able to supply
Albert Johansson, of course.
Exactly,
16 years yesterday, wasn't it? Albert Johansson,
So, we did that as well. And
brilliant. Well, that's great. What a great business it's been. You've uncovered all sorts of things. It's really rewarding for you. It's called FinderMonkey. Any more great stories, right, let us know, won't you?
Yeah, we'll do.
More players and that sort of thing, and any weepy moments. Oh, listeners love all that, you know.
Right, okay.
Ryan, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC. And do you wash your fruit and veg, by the way, mate?
Yes, of course.
Very good.
Every time.
Every time. And do you use plastic bags?
I was talking about this just before I came on air, and unfortunately I do, but not too many.
Okay. A few Hail Marys, fella, this weekend. Cheers, Brett, everything I own. BBC Radio Leeds. Ryan Shaw, co-director of FinderMonkey, and big Leeds fan as well. Great business.
You sheltered me.